Yeah, yo, sometimes you gotta go to war for what you believe in. Sometimes you gotta go to war for what it is that you want, what you see that's right. I'm about to go to war, but lyrically. War cry, baby. Yeah. Hey yo, war cry echoes in the background. That's the sound of soldiers getting ripped up and tore down. Lyrically dismantle metaphors and manhandle. Marauder with Welcome to another edition of Impose My Will podcast. I'm your bro, your brother, your co-host, Ramon with me, my brother, my other co-host, Joe. What's going on with you?
Man, feeling good, brother. Feeling good, man. It's a nice day. How about yourself?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. For the fans, excuse any background noise. That is my children playing Roblox back there, and they won't leave. So it is what it is, man. So we got some things to talk about this past weekend. Of course, everybody, the entire boxing community is talking about it. But before we do, I want to bid farewell, congratulations and farewell to Vasily Lomachenko.
Yes.
Calling it a career, man. He's decided to go ahead and retire. Um, you know, I think this was a good time for him to retire for a few different reasons, and maybe we can get into exactly those reasons, in another show or whatever. But nonetheless, man, he had a wonderful career, man. He ended his career with beating George Kambosos, and I mean, he beat the likes of Nakatani. He beat Pedraza. He
Mm-hmm.
beat Jorge Linares. He beat Rigondeaux when he was on. He beat some names in his in his time. Gary Russell Jr. Also, he has one of the most illustrious amateur careers,
Yeah,
period, in boxing
sure. Yep.
that we've ever saw. So hats off to him, shout off to him. I think it'll make sense for us to have a show about him.
Oh, most
Kind of
definitely.
bring up some of the things that people talk about. I've heard things that he is scared to fight. The Tank, I believe it's Tank Davis or Shakur. I think one or the other. I don't think he's scared to fight anybody.
Just
He
want to
fought
go out on
guys.
top.
Yeah, he went out on top, man. So just want to give him some love. Um, Congratulations, and you deserve it. You fought well. He went through a lot of things with his country, so he deserves to call it a career. Anything you wanna say or add to that, bro?
Nah, man, like you said, man, you said it all right there. You know what I'm saying? Shout outs to Vasily Lomachenko, man. Like, hate to see you go, but we completely understand, man. He set the temple fire as what a good boxer is, what a true warrior is in the ring, man. Like, I give him
Yeah,
that. And, you know what I'm saying? Especially too for everything what Ukraine is doing. Like,
yeah.
he is definitely somebody that kept their spirits up high. So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to
Yeah.
Vasily.
Shout out to Facility.
Mhm.
Yes, sir. So, moving on, going back to last weekend, we had the Davis brothers, what they call each other, KD3.
DB3.
Yeah. So, Keyshawn, the older brother who name eludes me at this very moment, um, put on the card, hometown, Norfolk, Virginia. Um, Decent crowd came out. Celebrities, Michael Vick came out.
AI.
Um, AI was out there, and what was supposed to be. By the way, things happened, but there was some good fights if everybody actually watched the card.
Was a
But what
fire
was supposed
card.
to be a wonderful, say it again.
I said it was a fire card. So if you missed it, you missed
Fire
out.
card. Yeah, what was supposed to be a wonderful homecoming, um, and the biggest fight of Keyshawn's career, I would say, ended up being a disaster. Um, and it just got worse from that moment. So let's just jump right into it, man. Keon won his fight.
Yep.
Um, with a oh man, he had a beautiful body shot that he got off. Won his fight. Of course,
Hmm.
Keyshawn didn't fight. Older brother fought.
Yeah, Kelvin.
Um, Calvin. I'm sorry, that's
Hmm.
his name. It was right on tip of my tongue. Calvin. And Calvin lost his fight. He got hit with a bunch of big shots. Um, so let's get right into the actual controversy. Um, Keyshawn Davis, uh, former WBO champion, former because he was stripped of his title, his 135 title, due to coming in, um,
4 pounds
what,
overweight.
three? I believe it was like three and a half.
Three.
What was it?
Yeah, about a little 3.5. I think it was like
Yeah,
3.9,
more than
3.6,
three
something like that.
pounds.
Yeah.
Right, right. Over the weight limit. Um, so it was supposed to be renegotiated for the De Los Santos fight. People coming in overweight is not necessarily a brand new thing. It does say something about their professionalism, but it's not. Some of our favorite fighters, Sean Porter, some of our favorite fighters came in overweight, and but a lot of the times they were able to take that time um, that they allowed them in the morning to try to shed some pounds or whatever. But they were supposed to negotiate um, the fight. There was a fine, of course. He was stripped of his belt. So again, former WBO.
Hmm.
So the only person that would have been able to win the belt was De Los Santos. Um, then, change of events, they decided that they did not want the fight. De Los Santos and his promoter decided to pull out of the fight. And before we start chopping it up, the reason being is because De Los Santos' promoter stated that when he saw Keyshawn up there and he, essentially looked at his face and was peeping his demeanor, um, it was his thought that Keyshawn never meant to try to lose the weight. There was no remorse. There was no, any indicator that said, "Damn, I messed up." You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like, I came in overweight. It it kind of looked like to him that maybe he did it on purpose. He had absolutely no uh no real uh thought on trying to lose the weight. Um and that rubbed him the wrong way.
And I don't
So
blame him.
Joe, yeah, exactly. So let's start there, Joe. Let's start
Mm.
there. First and foremost, let's talk about the weight, how you feel about him being over, um and just really all of that. Tell me your thoughts, how you feel.
Well, me and you talked about the Keyshawn Davis's previous fight against Barichek, where he looked at big, compared to
Yeah.
Barichek. And, we talked about it as like, hey, I wonder how long he's going to be able to stay at 135 before he has to go to 140. Now, if you knew then you were struggling to make the weight, and then I seen in the interview where he was saying that night before he realized he wasn't going to make weight, he was like, ah, man, because he was struggling. You should have said something then. You get what I'm saying? And with him not saying that, I think it could have been handled a little bit better if he just would have spoke up. But,
Yeah.
when you watch the weigh in, when he goes, he kind of had a smirk like, all right, they about to get the news. And he stepped on the scale and, all the antics. You know, that says a lot. So I can get why De Los Santos and them decided to not take the fight, especially when we seen different things happen with and they spoke about that the Devin Haney and the Ryan Garcia fight.
I gotta see it.
So
Yeah.
it yeah, I completely understand him not wanting to take that fight. And I think
Yeah.
he was smart for not doing that for
Hmm.
safety reasons, especially you ain't been in the ring for two
Right.
years and stuff. So it makes sense. But I think Keyshawn Davis and his team could have handled it much better. It happens. We've been seeing fighters miss fights.
Yeah.
You could go down the list. There's a lot of the big champions. Tank, the missed weight or whatever, was stripped from the title. It was a
Yeah.
few other fighters that happened to. It happens,
Yeah.
but just
It
be
happens.
clear about it. You know what I mean? So,
Sure.
how did
Sure.
you feel
Yeah.
about it?
I agree.
Hmm.
I agree. I agree. I think De Los Santos team made the right decision. They did bring up the Ryan Garcia Devin Haney situation, stating that this could have gone like that. Um, Keyshawn was already bigger than taller,
Hmm.
longer. Now you're talking about a weight advantage too on top of all of that. That could have been potentially dangerous. It's weight classes for a reason,
Right.
right? And so I think them making the decision to decide just to back out fully was the best decision, best thing to happen. And unfortunately, we probably won't ever see that fight
You're right.
because Keyshawn made the statement that they already knew they was moving up to 140 anyway.
Right.
Again, this kind of, you know, this kind of tells us that like, he definitely wasn't trying to lose the weight. Um, after a certain after a certain point of time, he wasn't trying to lose the weight. And he made that comment about, that was already the plan. This was it for 135 for him. So he knew he was coming in day of overweight. He knew it.
Exactly.
He
Hmm.
probably thought he was going to get away with it because, again, in a lot of instances, a fighter takes their fine, they might take the belt, but they still go out, they still get the opportunity to go out and perform. And it didn't happen like that. Let's move on to um, the black eye of the night. It's bad enough that you know he missed weight, fight was canceled, hometown crowd, moms is in the building, families in the building, Norfolk, Virginia came out,
The whole
so
city
on and
turned
so.
up for you. Hmm.
Say it again.
Said the whole city came out for you. The
The
legends
whole
came
city
out. You know
came
what I'm
out.
saying?
Right,
AI, like you said,
right.
Michael Vick on AI's birthday.
Michael
Matter
Vick.
of fact, too. Like they all came
Yeah,
out
me
for him.
me and AI's birthday. Just
Yeah,
like you said, he messed up my birthday night. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
I was looking
Yeah, I
forward to
mean,
that on my birthday night. So fast forward, his older brother loses his fight,
hmm
and just so happens that the locker rooms were next to each other. They heard the brother
celebrating.
um I guess celebrating
Yeah.
that he won. Got to keep in mind, people. Remember that um Keyshawn fought him too.
Yep.
Keyshawn fought him and won. Um, but his brother, he came up short, and that's okay. It happens, right? His first loss of his career. But the ugly part is that from my understanding, I know there's a video out there. I haven't actually watched any of the actual footage, so
Oh, you
this is
did?
just
Okay.
from what I read. Did you see any of the footage? Did you watch any of the footage?
Yeah. The footage that I seen was all in the hallway outside of
Right.
the locker
So it's
rooms.
probably after the
So
fact.
that was more of after the situation, what what kicked off everything. So,
Right.
hmm
Right. So his name is Nahir Albright.
yes,
Um, he was having a good time, man. It was loud because they had won the fight against one of the Davis brothers.
which
Um,
it was an upset. He wasn't expected to
yeah,
win that fight.
he wasn't expected to win the fight, no,
No,
and he did. And Keyshawn and Keon, from my understanding, with other people, but specifically those two brothers, rushed into the dressing room, and from what I'm hearing, um, Keyshawn headbutted the dude. As a matter of fact, he has,
he had a goose egg.
he got the laceration
Hmm.
to show that he headbutted him. I'm gonna tell you my opinion. If you want to, if he wants that fight or whatever he wanted in blood, whatever they want to do on the fight scene, that's fine. But now you've taken it past that. Um, I could see if even things transpire in the ring or something like that. You had, but you do a Virgil Ortiz Mayweather kind of weird kind of thing, right?
Right.
Something like that happens in the ring. You get all it out in the ring. But this happened after the fact, after the fight. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of on some hater stuff.
Yeah. Poor
I'm
sportsmanship.
pressing charges. Say it again.
Says poor sportsmanship. Like,
Oh,
let the man
terrible. Like
celebrate.
kids.
Yeah, you
Like
entered
kids, bro.
the locker room. Yeah, I mean, during the time where he had every right to celebrate.
Yeah.
And according to how Nahir explained it,
Yeah. Yeah.
Keyshawn Davis got in his face and grabbed his collar and
Yeah.
then led in with the headbutt, caused him to have the
Mhm.
laceration and goose egg on his forehead. So you gave the evidence, and I agree with you.
Yeah.
That's press charges on that. You know what I mean?
Pressing charges. This is, this is assault at this point. We're no longer under contractual obligation. They never were under contractual obligation that night. You
No.
know what I'm saying? It was him and Kelvin. And the bad thing about it was Calvin was the one who was trying to break it up.
Yeah, yeah. And that was
Crazy.
the part that it didn't even like click. And then after I watched it again, I was like, hold up. Calvin's actually breaking it up. But then I
Yes.
seen, the other video when they was outside of the locker room in the hallway and
Yeah.
everybody sitting there going back and forth. And it was disappointing to watch because
Yeah.
it's like, one, not only is this on your opportunity for your first defense, you missed the weight.
Right.
Now, this is after all of that or whatever.
Right.
And that noise was dying down. Then you
Yeah.
want to kick it up. But not
Yeah.
only do you, like you say, give it a black eye by those
Mhm.
antics, you're promoting your company. This is a DB3 production under Top Rank.
Right.
You are messing up your bag. Do Top Rank
Yeah.
do another show in Norfolk again? Do they give you that opportunity to make that extra money promoting?
And also here's the thing. I don't know if you got a chance to see the press conferences and weigh-ins and all that different stuff a few days before the fight, but his management was saying that Keyshawn's celebrity is kind of getting to the point where he may not be able to fight in Norfolk again because he's going to
Getting
be
big.
commanding larger audiences.
Yeah.
Um, so this may have been that this may have been his last opportunity to fight in Norfolk. Bro, you had the mayor vouching for him.
Bro,
I mean,
everyone was out.
everybody,
Everybody.
everybody came out,
True.
and
I ain't seen Bruce Smith in years. Remember the last fight? They had the whole joint.
yes,
We
sir,
had Bruce Smith
yes,
out there
sir.
representing.
Yep,
You know what I mean?
yep, yeah. He's a really good fighter.
Hmm.
He's a really good fighter. Um, but there's a lot of immaturity. You hear things about him just even on his off time where where he's not always a consummate professional, and that's no knock to him. He's younger. He's growing. He's so he's gonna do things. He's gonna make mistakes. He's gonna grow. Um, but he got to tighten up. He
You,
got to tighten up.
mhm. The one thing that it 100% alluded to, and I hate to even bring the topic up, but he's mentioned it numerous of times on interviews, was
Where you
mental
going?
health.
Yeah. Where you going?
And even the commentator after that, where Timothy Bradley and all them was talking, he mentioned, he was like, I like him because, he speaks on, mental health growing up with certain, issues have to deal with, and especially as being men's mental health month. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you crash out like that, you know.
Yeah,
And
man.
then you got your baby moms out there, you got your baby out there that,
Put your
said
baby out
in the
there. Yeah.
midst of all that stuff, it just
Yeah.
wasn't a good look. But he could have truly cleaned it up very well
Yeah.
without that. You know what I mean? So it's disappointing.
Like you said,
Hmm.
the people was moving past it. We were mentally, as the night was
Yeah,
going on, of course, people, we felt the way we felt, but we were moving past it. It would have been nothing for him to get through the rest of the show peacefully and then say, I'm officially moving up to 140, blah, 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 blah.
make a call out,
Let's
call
move on
somebody
with
out.
life.
You know what I mean? And
Call somebody out, right.
right.
Call somebody
Hmm.
out. So it's interesting because now you got cats calling him out. You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? My guy, uh, Frank Martin, who has always made it clear that he wanted smoke with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Bumped into him and they got into it face to face. He had things to say. Shakur kind of has things to say, but he kept his mouth closed a little bit because these guys are like brothers who are now at odds with each other, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
And audience guys, people, if you didn't know, now you know. You can go back and check things out. But now they have an issue.
Right.
But I think Shakur is kind of playing the high road a bit probably because Big Bro might have said something, but um, or he just don't want to completely destroy the relationship if it could be fixed. But there's some issues going on there, and that could be a potential fight. You know what I'm saying? So um, people warning, people warning, which is good,
Right.
which is great. This is what you want. You
Mm-hmm.
want big fighters wanting to fight you, man. So
He
I'm
had the
hoping that you just
perfect
clean it up a
licks.
little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Say it again.
He had the perfect lick set up with Tiafimo. Yeah, I mean, going up
Yeah,
in weight to, say potentially be able to face him, especially with the
yeah,
antics that he pulled during the burn check fight. Like,
yep,
that was your
yep,
opportunity. So,
yep, yep. So I'm hoping he just tighten up a little bit and just become a little bit more professional. I know he's young. He's going to make his mistakes.
right.
I get it. But I think they just took it too far.
Yeah.
On Saturday night, took it too far.
I truly hope and I believe that once the smoke clears, he'll be able to bounce back. Um,
Yeah,
but I definitely think he needs to send out a big apology just to the whole, to the
yeah,
boxing fans, not hear Albright and his
yeah,
team. Do it the right way. A lot of that was uncalled for. Like you said,
yep,
unprofessional, poor
yep.
sportsmanship. And technically, can't even say really poor sportsmanship because it wasn't Kelvin Davis that was doing it.
Right,
Yeah, I
right,
mean, but saying that makes him kind of look bad because it's your brothers. Yeah, man,
right,
your one brother and the other brother is probably defending. Yeah, I mean, so
right. You're right. He does. I would make a public apology.
yeah,
Um, make a public apology. Get low for a little bit and just dig into the training. If you're going to be moving up, get your body together, dig into the training, and make the next person you fight make them pay. Take all of that
exactly.
vitriol and all of that venom that you got, and go make somebody pay for it in the ring. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? That's where you take it out there. In the ring, and and just right now, get ready
yeah.
because everybody and their mama want to fight you. So you know, prepare.
And I think he'd be able to handle himself well. Yeah, I mean, like
Absolutely.
I really want to see Keyshawn Davis bounce back. Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of people stop and ask me, "Yo, what you think? What you think?" And it was like, and even they were saying it was like, "Yo, I hate to see that for that brother because,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, he's a true talent." And it's like, "Yo, he really is." So it's like,
Yeah.
you know, from us to you, brother,
Yeah.
take some time out, get it together. Yeah, I mean, make your public apology and bounce
Yeah.
back, man. I definitely think he's 100% capable of bouncing back and reclaiming his title, man. Like,
Yeah. Before we call it, man, I do think it was dope. Um, that Bud and Bo Mac came and apologized. Um, and then here was thrilled because he took a picture with him, and it's one of his guys, one of the people he want to be like,
right,
and it would have been better if Keon and Keyshawn, but probably at that very moment it was just tension was too high, so keeping them away was probably the best thing. But I do salute Bomac and Bud for coming through and trying to extinguish that fire a little bit. Um, Keyshawn got good people around him.
yeah, he got a great team
Ultimately,
around him.
got good people around him, man, from his coach to his mentors and stuff like that. It's a lesson to be learned. It's a lesson, and I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I definitely do. So,
Yeah. You got anything else for this one, bro?
uh, not no more on that topic, man. Not no more on that topic. I guess we
Yeah.
get ready for the next one. Shout out to Abdullah Mason for
Yeah.
upholding the
Oh yeah.
card. Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
we got to talk about that. But
Yeah. Definitely got to talk about that. Abdullah might need his own. He might need his own his own thing.
Oh, it's showtime for
So I
Abdullah.
hate to think. Yeah, he might need his own
Mhm.
show.
Yeah, it's definitely
Yeah, he might
showtime
need his
for
own
Abdullah
shows.
Mason, man. You want to go into
Yeah.
that now?
Let's save it. Let's do a separate one.
Yeah.
Let's do a
We're
separate
gonna get
one.
that brother his own
Abdullah deserves his own segment, his own show. Outside of this, he kept it professional the entire time, even when Keyshawn was pressing him on stage.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? He stayed composed and professional and got busy. So
Yeah,
yeah, we gonna give him his own. We're gonna give him his own thing
good, because he
for sure.
deserves his kudos. But yeah, outside of that, man, yo, great card overall. Um, and that's that, man. But definitely want to see DB3 bounce back. Uh,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? All three brothers, you know what I mean? Well, Keon did his thing, you know what I mean? He didn't disappoint. But yeah, man, shout out to them boys and their team, man. Pose My Will podcast. It's a wrap.
DB3. What was I saying? KD3 or something at the beginning?
Yeah, you
Wildin',
did
bro.
call it
I'm
KD3, man.
tired, G. Wildin',
hmm
man. Post My World podcast. We out.
Peace.
Peace.